I'm flattered. Oh, I have the pleasure. Thank you.
Oh, thank you guys. How y'all doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm chilling, man. It's been a productive day so far.
Yeah. What you
Yeah,
working on?
I'm getting ready for the show in Charlotte.
Oh, back home.
Yeah, yeah, back home. Oh, back home. You know where that crib at? You know where the crib at? Yeah,
Uh,
back home. On the 10th.
okay. Okay. Um. So first and foremost, let me introduce myself. My name is Christopher. They call me MOONWALKERSWIZZ or Moon for short. And
Hey.
I see that your name is MKXYZ. We're gonna figure out all that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I believe I understand what the MK stands for. If I did my homework, I think it may be Michaela.
Yes, yes. MK
Okay.
is short for Michaela. I'd prefer to be called MK, but the XYZ represents the unknown variable. It's the
Okay.
parts of myself that I refuse to define. I'm one of those men. I like to be labeled. I do my thing. It is what it is.
That's
Period.
dope. Okay. Okay. It makes sense now. All right. All right. Well, welcome to another great episode of DJIceberg.com before the fame and a whole slew of great stuff. I'm so thankful and honored to be in your presence. To be totally honest, you were brought to my attention, and I was just there like, okay, let me see what I got in my hands. And by the time I looked, I said, oh, oh, okay, okay. I like what I'm seeing visually. I love what I was seeing, and I was just there like, okay, now I get to put a voice to the and the personality to the human being. So now I was like, okay,
Dope.
this is gonna be dope. So well, let's start at the genesis and take me through to. I see that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Were you born in Florida or were you born in Charlotte?
Okay, so I claim both. Like because some people give me one or the other, but I really claim both because I
Okay.
spent pretty much enough time in both cities. But I was born and raised in Jacksonville, Duval County, on the west side of Florida, and then I moved to Charlotte, and I finished out the rest of my schooling there, and then of course I went to college there. So I just claim both.
Okay, that's cool. I see. So are you a Tar Heel? Because it says you went to the University of North Carolina for biochemistry. So I was like,
Greensboro, UNCG. Everybody gets it confused. This is like an often thing though, like because people be like,
okay,
oh, people are so used to Tar Heels, so they think, oh, UNC, like it's UNC versus Duke, but UNC has like because it's state, it has
okay,
all. It's like you know, it has all the what you call it, like it has all the different cities within it, all the different what do you call it? There's a word for this, but I literally don't know. But either way, there's like Chapel Hill, which is UNC, which is the
mm,
UNC. So Chapel Hill, Greensboro, Pembroke, etc., etc.,
oh,
Asheville,
so
like
there's like
University of.
factions within the.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But there was an actual name for it. I was trying to think of it, but they actually have a term that they use. Like if you're going to a specific state-funded school through, there's an
Mhm.
actual word for it, but pretty much. But I went to UNCG. So that
Okay,
was around the
okay,
way. So
all
when
right.
people ask me, like, do you partake in the Tar Heel Duke battle? Because, like, are you dark blue or are you light blue? I ain't none of that. I'm all shades, 50. I don't
Mm.
know.
Oh man. So I see that you're mixed. Black and Filipino. Your mom is black, your dad is Filipino. And what I do actually like about your background is your mom and dad have dance history.
They do.
That's
They do
dope.
have dance history. Yeah.
That's super dope. So when I looked at it, it kind of like based on your mom being a point ballet artist, your dad being a b-boy, it kind of like the thoughts that kind of came to my head first was like a urban version of like West Side Story type of thing. Like
No,
that's
you
what came to my
didn't.
Like that's what came to my head, and I'm just there like, oh, she has dance background. This is so lit. I was like,
You,
okay,
yo, not. I actually like that though. That's kind of tough. Um, no, my dad was definitely a serious b-boy. He was the one who really introduced me into hip hop. My
okay,
mom definitely, I say my mom really brought R&B, Motown, like the classics to me, and more the performers. But my dad brought a lot of hip hop, rap, old school, like all of that into my ear. I say this all the time, but like I have a video of me, like I feel like I was 4 freestyling off the dome, like as a kid. But I'm not a like I would not consider myself a freestyler. Don't ask me to ever do that. That's what I always don't ever ask. But the thing is, like I just like witnessing and having that like immortalized, me being 4 years old, like doing that, and then, but yeah, he brought in the hip hop. Mom was a dancer, so it was just the best of both worlds, and it really shaped my sound. I say just
okay.
knowing that and having that, because
So
he did the graffiti, he wore the suits, the Adidas, the chains, the like he had, like I saw this really fly picture of my dad with Cortezes on. I was like, what was you
mm,
doing? I was like, okay, the shoe game was different.
okay. So based on the balance that your mom and dad brought to you musically, like what were some of the artists that you were finding yourself being inspired by the most?
I definitely have to say, off bat, Michael Jackson, Prince, Beyonce, because I study them. I still
Mhm.
study them. Like I studied them when I was a kid because they came on TV. But like even more than anything, I'll go back and I'll watch documentaries and stuff like that. Sierra, just like every big performer, really, every big performer, just because I love the iconology of them. You know what I
Mm,
mean? And I love the music. Everything is tasteful. Everything is right. Like it's just so like I love when a package is delivered well. You know what
right.
I'm saying? Like, I just love that. So those would be my tops. Of course, TLC, Aaliyah, Missy Elliott, like the greats, and of course my idol Queen Latifah, because who wouldn't mention her?
Ladies first, ladies first.
Ladies
Okay.
first, yes. They honored, yes. I just love all of that.
Yeah, they're all dope. So I see that you went to Northwest School of Arts in Charlotte and you studied musical theater and dance. So how did
I
this
did.
so how does from an early age this start to shape you as a performer? Because now I will believe that for someone being pretty much trained to be great from a young age, it will be much easier for you to take the stage and command the crowd versus someone who's coming in the industry and they don't really have that experience.
It's still tough. Like yeah, my mom really, I'd say, is the person who took me through artist development subconsciously. Like my whole life I didn't know that that's what it was called, and then, until I stepped into my artistry. But like I was always being put in front of a camera. We were always shooting YouTube videos. She was always having me practice my face and like my mug, like looking at you. Like if I'm trying to like serve, or if I'm trying to like be sensual, like you know what I mean? Like really playing with
Mhm.
the eyes, playing with my hair, smiling, all those little different, technical things, the details, that make you great, along with singing and dancing and working the stage. Like it's not, I would say that she really, really did a lot of work. A lot of people don't have to, like, that's not something you have to go in and tell. Like, I don't, like, if you put a camera in front of me, I don't look confused. I don't be like, you know what I mean? Like, I just know what to do naturally. And I enjoy it. And I think that's where it came from. We all recognized all those signs early, but now moving forward, even like me just leaving rehearsal today, like it's always work in progress. It's always, I feel like the beauty about artistry is just an evolution. Like you're constantly growing. Like you don't just stay in one place. Like you don't want your music to sound the same as your first album. You don't want your first show to look like, you know what I mean? You want it to all like change. And for me, that's what, like, those are always my goals. I don't think it's just one end all goal. Like I have little goals from show to show, stage to stage, how it keeps going.
That's dope. That's dope. Okay, so um going forward, I could let me just take a step back. So I see that 2017, like you said, your mom was already recording you do whether the facial expressions or or this actual singing. But it says here that you were doing covers and you was doing like Smokey Robinson, Cruising, Daniel Caesar and Her, Best Part. And these will be the covers that, in a sense, get the attention of others in the industry, figures who are popular figures who are in the industry. So what was it about you doing the covers for the world to see that it was just like, I'm gonna do these particular songs and put it out in the world?
I think that just in general, I listen to so much music, but whenever I feel something and I really, really like it, or and I like how my voice sounds singing it, I would just do random covers. I didn't put a lot of intention into them. It was a lot of, like, I think that the build up to me getting signed, and just me putting out social media was more of just me documenting my life, like what I wear, what I eat, who I hang out with, like, you know, college stories, and like having all my college friends in the background, us hanging out in the dorm and like showcasing my whole lifestyle, like, you know, and it just being so relatable too. Like, I feel like it was very true to my own, um but it was also super relatable. And then when people started to see, oh, like she sings and she dances, all those moments that I had, my, like, I literally tell my friends like, oh yeah, I'm feeling this real quick, just record this real quick, here's my phone. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, I'm going to record this tomorrow, I'm thinking about singing a song and putting it on Instagram. All of those organic, it was very organic. Like, I'd say that in so far everything for me has been super organic, you know, like everything that I post is just like, okay, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't now, you know, but back then it's just like, I just put it up there just to put it up there. And then eventually my mentor, my OG in my team, Tricky Stewart, I ended up meeting him through that because he hit me in the
Right.
DMs. And then we ended up linking in Atlanta from there.
Okay. So did you ever finish school?
So what's funny is I took a year off. I went to the dean of students and I was telling her the situation, and I was like asking her for counsel. Like, I was like, I don't really know what to do because I was a first generation student. So I had
Mhm.
fought, like, out of my whole family, I was the first to even graduate. Like, I was 17 graduating with my associate's degree. Like, I was 17
Oh,
when I had my first degree. So I was only going to school to get my second degree. So my bachelor's in science. But the thing is I had literally asked the dean, I was like, what you think I should do? Like, I don't know. Like, and I was so emotional because I had got, literally, I would lose my scholarship that I had only for 4 years guaranteed. It was four
mhm.
years guaranteed. And if I left, that's it. They won't give it back. And it was a lot. And that was the way that that was how I was able to get through school. So, you know, my parents were like, that you got to make that decision. You got to figure out like what is it? And then she was like, look, school is always going to be here. Go chase your dreams. Go live your life. You know, you only have this one. Like, go live your life. She's like, your credits will always be here if you want to pick up. So I took a year off. But it's been hitting the ground running ever since.
Okay.
So, you know, I would love to finish, but at this point, I think I fully understand what my purpose is. Like, end of story. End of
Lit.
story.
Lit. So in the process, like you said, you met Tricky Stewart. So in meeting Tricky Stewart, you said he came through the DM. Like, how did now when you guys link up, that now the chemistry start being started to build up? This teamwork is now bringing you to a place where you are today.
Um, I'd say that when I came to Atlanta, my family came and I was so nervous to meet him, you know, because
Mhm.
he's legendary in my mind. He created the soundtrack of the 2000s. He contributed to that. So for me, I felt pressure, I felt nervous because I didn't go down there with expectations. You know what I mean? I just went down there just to see what's going on. And then as soon as I got there, he was like, let's get to work. And I was like, okay. We did 4 records, and mind you, the environment and he curates spaces. That's one of his things that he's great at. Like, if it was your first time coming into the studio, or if it was your last time coming into the studio, he makes it a vibe. He makes you comfortable enough to, you know, have the best performance. Feel like, okay, do you need throat coat? Do you need like any teas, any food, anything that you need? Like, you want somebody to, you know, like, it's just such a great environment. So when I first got there, you know, my family was there, we're all going through the process. The songs were amazing, he was amazing, and we just had a lot of chemistry naturally. And then his team that he had around him, from engineers, producers, everybody was just so like dope, you know what I mean? And then from there, it was just like I always came down, did work, and then eventually Zeke, my A&R at Epic, heard it, and then I met Sylvia, and it was up from there.
Okay. So um so I have here that, correct me if I'm wrong. So you signed with RZ3 Records?
RZ, yeah, RZ3.
Yeah.
It's tricky. Well, tricky. Judy and Mark, that's my team, my OG. Yeah, I
So
signed with
you
them.
so pretty much you're signed with them and partnered up with Epic.
Yeah, yep.
Cool, cool. So how was it being at Epic? Because the first thing that really come to my mind when it's Epic, I think of Michael Jackson, and then I think of L.A. Reid when he was there. So those are the two people that I really think of the most when I think of Epic. So how is it for you now, being an artist in a house has so much history?
Yeah, I'm in a house within a house.
Yeah.
That's how it feels. I think that I feel like it's just, I don't know. Part of me is like, it's been so quick. Like it's been so quick, my experience, like because of COVID and stuff like that, I haven't really got to experience everything that there is to it. But like for me, the label's been welcoming like everybody that I know. But you see, I'm MK, so it's different for me. Like it's like, because I don't like, I just like, I've taught myself to not go into anything with expectations, even when I got signed. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't go into it like, oh, so this is what's going to happen with my life. I knew that there was work to be done. I didn't go in there like thinking that things were going to be handed to me. So that's why, like, and I also came in there knowing myself. So it was very much like, I'm like, we just rocking with each other. But so far, it's been a great experience. Just to, like, simply put, it's been a great experience. And then, because everybody is like, I speak up, number one, like, I speak up for what I want and what I want to do. But at the same time, my creativity is respected, which is a big thing. And who I am and the package that came to them, they knew that from the jump. Like it was not like, oh, like, because a lot of people be like, has anything changed? Like, have you like anything is being shaped in a certain way that you don't necessarily would have started off with? I don't feel that way.
Oh, that's dope. That's cool. So pretty much you weren't taken out of yourself to be something else.
Exactly.
That's dope. That's dope. So your first project was a EP called Expectations. Take me through that.
Yeah, this is pre-signage. Um, Man, that was the first time I had ever recorded any music and put it out both times. And my uncles, K-Bug, my other uncle, Jawad, who's an engineer, who's also a producer, they did that EP with me in my bedroom, man. Like they flew down. My mom was like, let's set up. It was super, just like we just trying to get it how we got it. And I wrote those records like super fast. Like I was also learning about Pro Tools and learning about Ableton and learning about equipment and how do you, like I was learning. That was the time where I really just kind of like kept my head down. It was like, well, what is this? And like, and I was learning all the language.
Okay.
I was learning the language, learning how to get what I was a very beginner EP. It was a very
I
beginner
mean,
EP, but I dropped the video for the single of it, which was Expectations, which was like an introduction to the world at the time when I was younger. And then, MKXYZ was the official rebirth of me being 100%. You know what I mean?
so all right. So take me to how the moniker, granted we spoke about, how did the moniker MK become the forefront for who you are and who you're going to present to the world? Because like you said earlier, like you were in the process when you put out Expectations and it was like, okay, I'm getting a feel for this is cool, I like it, I'm expressing myself, I am who I am. However, I graduated to a whole nother level of myself, and now it's like I have to find the very thing that represents me the best. So how did
Yes.
MK become the best representation for you?
Because I felt like my whole life I wanted it to be about me. Me,
Mm,
me, 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 me. And then I realized at a point in time, like my artistry, there's going to be a point in time where it's always about me. Like like as an artist, everything is about you. How do you want your tea? How do you want your dances? How do you want your hair? How do you want your music video? How do you want this? And I felt like my artistry has to be, yes, about me, but it has to be meaningful. It has to be bigger than me. It has to be a legacy. It has to be something that I create that lives on, that changes the world for my time.
Okay.
And I feel like right now we're living in my generation, we don't give no at all.
At all.
At all. Like we speak up on everything. And in some regards, like there's a sensitivity level, but I feel like in general, like we speak up and we speak out. And especially after COVID and everything, I'm like, that just represents who I am. So once I fully stepped into my artistry, once I met Tricky and everybody, and I got signed, I was like, I want my artistry to have so much intention after experiencing what I've experienced. And I want people to not feel like they have to box themselves in. So it's an XYZ family. It's not just a me thing. It's like a family of people who, like, when you look at your,
okay,
we're not there yet, Moon. Huh?
All right. Oh, and sidebar, happy belated. I see your birthday is the 15th of May.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. All right. So
Yes.
you did the Beyonce commercial. And when I saw it, it looked like you were in like high school, like a high school
I was in college.
bathroom. Yeah. And you were singing a song. Take me through that, because they used that clip in the Adidas commercial. And I was like, yo, this is cool. So yeah, take me through that. How did that make you feel to be picked by Beyonce and her staff to be in her commercial?
Listen, I love her because the point at which I said I can do this was at her concert. Like I've always known I was supposed to do this. I always knew in college that I get to that point, but I knew that at some point I would come back to this deep in my heart, like when I was at her concert. So I felt like, and even like in the video when you're watching it, she's taking you from birth to when she's on the stage, and then she passes it to me. And I felt like spiritually it's my time. It's my time, because I'm also a natural born performer, because I'm a singer, because I can do all that, like there's multi talents. I just felt like that was her passing the torch for my time. You know what I mean? I literally was crying. I was so emotional. But yeah, I did that video in college. I think it was like the year before I left, or maybe the summer before I left. Either way, it was like somewhere at the end. And I love that song All Night by her. And I literally was like, look, one of y'all got to record this real quick. And I was just, I don't know if I was doing my hair or doing makeup or something. And then I just turned around and started singing it. And it was like a one take. And then from there, my team was like, yo, Adidas wants you to do a commercial, but they didn't tell me what for. And I was like, okay, like cool. I wake up in the middle of a conversation and I see a tweet that says MKXYZ for Beyonce's international commercial, in German though. It's in German. And I'm like, in German? I'm like, but I'm like, what is this? I don't know what this is. I didn't, you know, and clicking for me. I clicked the video and I watched the commercial in tears, man. I was just like, no way, because she's on everything. Like she's about everything. Okay. Like she don't play. So the fact that I was the only person to sing in it, like I was like, oh, you know what I mean? Like it was a little girl, but out of every artist, I was the one. So it really just kind of hit different for me. Like I was like super emotional.
I feel that because I was there watching it like, hold on. I'm thinking that when I was watching the commercial, I'm about to see like, you know, Beyonce does commercials that's epic in a sense, where it's like when you see her do like the ice glacier stuff, like it looks a certain way. So when it gave like that kind of like documentary type vibe, and like you said, it just escaped right to you. I said, oh, pause. Pause. This is what's going on. And in my mind, as I'm doing the research about you, is just like, yo, this kind of like high school like you said, college, it just gave a feeling where it was like content that you were holding, like you said, that you put out organically, that I'm thinking in my mind, they saw on their own, and it was just like, yo, we love what this little girl is doing. Let's put that content in the video. So that's how I took it. Like, yo, that was dope. Like, I like that. It was,
Yeah.
oh, that was dope. Now you dropped a new EP,
Sweet
Sweet
spot.
Spot. 5 songs, and one song has a video. But before we get to that, I listened to Dennis. I listened to just about all of them. And when I listened to Dennis Rodman first, I was like, yo, hold on. Hold on. I said, I said, I'm a man that has great ears. It works very well. And I listened and I listened.
Ah!
I said, yo, I don't care where she at with it. I just know how she's saying it. Excuse my French. Like, your voice sounds very sexy, but it's like you have a sexy voice that's you. It's good for rap. It's good for singing. You have a good speaking voice. So I was sitting there listening to it, and I'm just
You.
taking it in. Like, yo, I'm gonna listen to her as if she talking to me, and I'm just there like.
I was talking to you. I was talking to you.
That's how I took it. I'm like, yo, son, like, yo, bro, I'm like, yo, son. Well, I'm like, yo, she talking to me right now. I'm like, all right, I'm feeling this. And then I kept going down the rest of the records. I'm like, I just was like, yo, she gained a new fan. Like, I like your style.
Oh
I was like, yo, I like
man.
what's going on. I'm like, because this was my first introduction into you. I didn't know nothing before this, know nothing.
Wow, that's
My
crazy.
friend Dane put me on. And like I said, all I did was do my due diligence and doing the research and really figure out like how can I connect with this person. And it was just like by the time I started doing everything, I'm like, I'm a dancer myself. So you already won me over with the dancing.
Dope.
Boom. But then by the time I started listening to the music, I'm like, all right, she got me. It's cool. It's cool. I'm in it. I'm all the way in it. So take us through the process of how Sweet Spot was created.
Wow.
Oh, give me
First
one
off, I gotta
second.
say
Hold on.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but first off, I gotta say thank you because
You're welcome, man.
that's real. Like I just wow, like that's love.
Yeah, because I
I
was,
I
I
really
was
appreciate you.
like I said, I'm sitting there like I said, it's to the point where all right, before we even get into Sweet Spot, like you have a lot going on to the point where in 2021 and going forward, I think it's best for a lot of artists to have it like that in a sense where you have to capitalize on your personality. I think that's the best thing you can ever do. It's not just the artistry of writing or whatever, because I seen that you had shoot your shot. Like I did my research. I went to look. I was looked to and fro, and I'm like, yo, a lot of people are not doing what you're doing, and I think that's okay. That's okay. Overall, what you're doing, I really see it working to your advantage futuristically going into other things where it's prosperous. It takes care of you beyond music. Even to the point I was
Yeah.
looking to see, I'm like, does she have some acting credits somewhere? By the time I look again, you got a whole new film coming out, First Kill.
Yeah, well, TV show,
TV
but
show.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's coming out.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there like, okay, well, overall, take us through Sweet Spot.
Sweet Spot is literally everything that you just said. It's everything that I feel like people need to see. The XYZ and all the multifaceted layers to me. Like I felt like, with Pass It, with expectations, just being a little like a younger version of that, not fully stepping into it 100%, but stepping into it, all those experiences is like people need to hear and see who I am. Like when you get to know me and you're like, okay, if I want to figure out who MK is, 5 songs, 5 songs, air it out, baby, air it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? It just takes you through like visually, like what am I thinking? What am I saying? Like, who am I really? Because that's really what I say, and that's really what that's really what I'm about. But you know, and it's just like some people, and I feel like I'm not gonna give you things to make you comfortable. I'm not gonna give you, like, you don't change the world through comfort. Like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm letting you know, like, look, this is who I am. This what it sound like. This what I be saying. Eat it up.
Yeah,
Silver platter.
I took it all in. I took it all in. So yeah, the video for it, one time. So it has produced by Hitmaker, has that Bone Thugs and Harmony first of the month sample vibe. That's what caught me. I was like, hold on, I know this beat. I know this beat. And then the video was like very fun, calm, dancing in the rain. Then you dancing with your girls and stuff like that. So take us through the process of how that video and the concept of the video came to be.
Yeah, so me and Madeline Kahn, the director who worked on that video, I think she captured my vision effortlessly. I feel like I always want to find a way to show culture. I always want to show my androgyny from the, like, stylistically, my creative director Binky, I mean the entire team, really just everything. I want it to be a different look. Everything is about a different look. Even if you watch the video for Pass It, I want to serve different looks that cater to what I'm talking about, what I'm saying. But you know, I want to, like, fashion is a big thing to me. And because I feel like I'm so into, like, globally, like so many different, like from Latin music to K-pop music to Afro beats, like the whole nine, like I'm so into so much that I like to pull a lot of it. Like I become like so many different things, you know. So when it comes to the video, I just wanted to serve all that. I wanted to give you like the zaddy energy, but also I look fine as hell in that, in the white, in the rain, which was a classic R&B moment, like just in the rain, you know what I'm saying? Like I was just out there freezing 2 a.m. in LA trying to get it done, man.
Yeah, it
Like
was like
I had a lot of fun though.
it was like a especially the rain scene. It was like it reminded me of like what was that?
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, so I was like in my mind, like I said, it's like okay, I know she's a dancer, so it's like in my mind, it's like
Them
it's gonna
solo
be a lot of
moments.
yeah, a lot of dance moments is gonna be big. So I'm sitting there like, oh, okay, this is dope. When it comes to you dancing, like, what's your foundation? Because like your dad does hip hop, your mom.
I was like, what happened?
Oh, trust me, I was saying the same thing. I thought my dream was
We
over.
just trying to be great, and this is what happens.
Telling you, the devil is a lie. We need to chill. Anyways, other than that, back to this good energy and this good vibes. Um, yeah, so pretty much you were telling me about the one time video, how you pretty much were catching the aesthetics of the video based on um how you want to present yourself fashionably, which is dope because a lot of your videos you definitely be fly. I know when I was watching the what was it, the passive video. When I watched the passive video, um you had like the neon green look, and the look that I like
Yes.
the look that I liked the most was there was one that was like a jeans kind of denim, and you had like the
Yes.
hat. There was a scene where you only had the hat on.
Woo!
They probably showed the hat maybe with you with the hat on maybe once. And I
Yeah,
was
like a quick second.
yeah, and I was just like, oh, if I would have saw that a little bit more, would have saw that a little more. So that look for me did it. I was like, yeah, that's the one. And but yeah, so
It was
very
hard.
yeah, your style with fashion, I definitely like it. It's very presentable. When I saw a lot of the pictures that they take, photographers take of you, I'm like, yeah, okay.
Listen, I look, I'm trying to be my best out here. That's all.
I mean, push it. So now are we gonna get any more videos and from the EP for Sweet Spot?
You know, you just might have to wait and see, because there's a lot of there's some records, there's some visuals that I when we get there, it's there. I don't want to give away too much. I don't
Okay.
give away too much, but I just know like it's over with. It's over with.
So, I was asking you earlier. So, based on your parents teaching you dancing and putting you in places to learn how to dance, what is your foundational dance style?
Yes, yes, yes. I say definitely. I wouldn't say that I'm a technical dancer. I'd say that I'm more of a street freestyle
Mm,
dancer. I can't freestyle lyrically, but I can freestyle dance. Like, um, definitely, I like to just kind of let energy move me. Like, I'm not someone who where it's like, oh, okay, in a one and two. I don't really care for counts. I can learn them, but I just like to be natural and organic with my movement. But I say hip hop was always my thing. Pop locking is my thing.
mm,
But I also can make it very sexy and sensual. Like I'll make it anything, but it's always even my dance is super XYZ, super androgynous. And I make a point too that in my videos, and just in general, I want the women on my team who dance with me to just like I want them to be able to do that. Like I don't want them to it's always about twerking and popping and that's it. No, I want them to get down. Like let's get it.
mm.
Like let's eat. Let's eat this work. Like and they love that because you're so used to like when you think about it, like when you're seeing like and not everybody does this, but you see a lot of the twerking, the popping and stuff like that on stages.
Yeah,
You
that's the
want something
majority.
fresh, you want something different. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and that's is good that you said that because now, if you haven't before, do you see yourself doing like solos at your shows? You know how Mike used
I'm
to
getting
do
ready
his
to do one
shows?
now.
Okay, because I noticed that a lot of women artists, I always said to myself, I wish I would have seen more women artists who are really dedicated to the dance on the with the feminine energy and the masculine
And the
in one.
masculine. Yeah,
I don't I
I
believe
agree.
it's like I see it more when someone is choreographing you versus you get your 5-10 minutes to one of your songs and you just go off. And I don't believe I've seen that enough in women on stage. Not from a Beyonce, a Janet Jackson. It's like they have great choreographers that help them paint this vision that they have for themselves, and their choreography
Mm,
is awesome. When they dancing by themselves, it's one of those we don't really get to see it. And I would love to see a woman who could really get down at to the point where it's
yeah,
like I take them me as a dancer, I take artists who are at that level more serious with dancing because it's easy for someone to give you direction. I want to see you direct yourself.
nice. Yeah, I feel that. And a lot of what's crazy, and my mom taught me that way. Like my mom was like every time we had like a cookout or if there was a talent show, or if there was like some sort of party, like I naturally would jump in and it start like I love to battle. Like, you
Mm,
know what I mean? Like sometimes when and especially like in college, some dance like I wouldn't say recitals, but more like street. You know how like on some step up, like where people just come out and they dance. Like I used to love that. Like, I don't like since we've been in COVID and quarantine, I don't really see that often. Like a lot of people, everybody's not getting together, but like
yeah.
I used to love just jumping in, like, as they go, like when people have circles. I love that. I love that.
Mm,
Cause I just feel like I'm always dancing. I'm dancing in sessions when I'm writing, when I'm singing, I'm dancing like in the grocery store. I dance like to pump my gas. Like I'm just always like naturally moving like all the time. And that's how I really decide too, like what beats wise or like production wise, like you could tell that I really like love something when my feet start moving. Like
moving.
that's
Yeah.
how you know. That's how you know, like, okay, but if I'm like sitting still, like, even with slow jams, like it's still something makes you bop,
Bob,
you
yeah, because
know?
I was sitting there like in my mind listening to some of your songs. I'm sitting there like, oh, this got a vibe. I'm gonna have to do a video to this. I'm gonna have to glide to this, or like a lot of your
Come
songs.
on, glide. You be gliding?
Yeah,
Oh, I gotta see this.
I'm like, yo, a lot of your songs are very like dance oriented, and I was like, yo, this is good because I'm like, this is what the scene is really missing. Like, I feel like artists are too caught up in like kind of death right now. And it's just like, yo, get back to enjoying ourselves. You're successful. Like, is is you bringing death to your success now? Like, bring the dance to your success, bring the love to your success, bring the fun. You're laughing more, I would
Oh, I
hope.
feel that.
Those type of things, to the point where it's like Diddy said, all I want to do is make you dance. So when we listen to a lot of those productions by Diddy, it was very like, it felt like I'm rich, bitch, and I'm enjoying myself, and that's what he wanted to
Hey,
share. So it's like,
yeah.
yo, is there not enough of you that feel the same way? That it's like, yo, I would believe you want to be happy with what you have. You work so hard to come into a place where
Oh,
it's
I
just
see.
like, yo, unless someone is directing you to say, hey, just continue with this and let it run, okay. But other than that, it's just like, I would believe that with this newfound success that you wanted so bad, that it would provide the landscape for us to dance more, to enjoy each other's company, versus I'm in the club and I gotta watch you.
Oh
And I was
yeah,
like, I don't
true.
like,
Like where
I don't
you
like,
posted.
I don't like watching people in a sense where we're all mannequins. I like to watch you if I'm dancing with you, dancing beside you, and just enjoying life. Versus it's like I'm on guard and someone's like, yeah, I want your chain tonight, I want your bottle tonight, I want,
Yeah,
I,
because
I
I believe that people attract that energy. Like when you're paranoid, all right. And I mean, I don't blame the few that I know that are super paranoid, because like people really be out here. Like,
Mhm.
I'm friends with a few rappers, and like especially rappers, and they really be targeted. Like people think that's a joke. Like people be like, why y'all look so scared all the time? Because they have to be. You'd be surprised. You spend an hour alone and people try to get through gates to try to, like, it's different. But you also attract that energy. Like I feel like if you put it out, like if you put that energy out, it's naturally going to find its way back to you. You can't focus on that. But it's sometimes it's hard to just enjoy it, because you work so hard and then you start realizing that, oh, like it's lonely out here. It really is lonely outside of quarantine. Like I felt like it's weird because when everybody's quarantined, I feel like people lost it a little bit. When I
Mm.
feel like in music, you feel that way though. You can feel that way because you don't ever, there's always somebody who needs something from you, or there's always somebody that needs you to do something, or, and you're just like, you don't know them. You don't know them. There's always people that's like doing your hair, and there are people that are like, look this way, and so it's a lot that's going on around you, like where you're just like, okay, I mean, you just do the best you can, but it can feel like you're isolated.
So my question to you is, do you keep good company around that you trust in the midst of everything going around you successfully, where it keeps you in a positive mindset, where it's like, yo, I don't want to really be stressed out. I
Mm,
don't want to be so lost in what's going on that I lose myself. I am who I am. I came into this industry knowing the industry and knowing myself and knowing how to play where I want to play, versus someone is
mm.
pushing me in and I'm like, oh shoot, what happened? You know what I'm saying? So how do you govern yourself in this world?
I have a lot of spiritual solitude.
Mm,
That's the biggest way to say it. And I have a lot of discernment in my character. I'm very grounded. I like to keep both feet on the ground, but at best I'll keep one. And I'm Taurus energy, so I'm super grounded, super earthy. But at the same time, like a lot of legends, like Pharrell told me, Tricky told me, everybody tells me, like the biggest thing, hitmakers tell me, you just gotta protect your circle. You got to know who's in the circle enough to protect the circle, and you allow who's in the circle. You know what
mm,
I'm saying? And then you got to, like, and for me though, that goes hand in hand. Like the reason why I say that I have that is because, well, I would say spiritual congruence really, because it's like, I feel like a lot of my actions are like guided, guided by my ancestors,
okay.
and I'm like, I kind of know, like, it's like if you walk in a room and there's that person that keeps staring at you. They keep staring at you. You don't know if they're in awe. You don't know, if they jealous, envious. You don't know what it is. But when you start feeling like I have to figure it out, then you already in the wrong space. Like if I step into my home and my safe haven where I create blase blase and I have to question your energy and your motive, then you're not supposed to be here. If I have to even come out of myself like that.
See what you just said.
That's how I feel.
I felt that. I felt that.
I swear.
I felt that.
I swear. And for me, the way that I do that though is I'm always checking in with myself. I make sure that my intentions, my motives are correct. I come correct to everybody so that if I ever have to question, it's not me because I came correct. It's on you. I check my energy at every door. I promise you. I checked it because I like anybody who you ask about me is always great energy. So I'm very confused if I came off the wrong way. I'm very confused. I'm baffled. So, you know, like it's not easy though. You know, I have my moments, like even through I was just telling I don't know who was telling this, but I lost 2 people and I still come with the correct energy despite thank you about that. But yeah, I still come with the correct energy despite like things that are going on. And sometimes you have days where you literally just can't. Like we have our moments where we just can't and you ain't gonna talk to me today. But then I also know not to put myself around people. You know what I'm saying? But for the moments where I have to still put my game face on, like it's tough, bro. Like it's tough. You don't know. You just to each moment is like you got to take it one step at a time. And I feel like even me being super young, I have learned like you really just got to take it one step at a time because you don't know like the way that you might like. To me, it's about responding rather than reacting to situations.
Right.
And that's really
all Eric, as you're saying everything. Oh man, I forgot that song Usher did on Confessions where he pretty much talks about that, where it's like days where I'm in the spotlight and I gotta like kind of, and I really don't want to. I want to just, oh my gosh, like oh my gosh, that what you just said resonated so hard. Um, so you have your show coming out, First Kill, a vampire series. So now,
yeah.
so now the actor actress credits are rolling out. Do you see yourself doing more film after this?
Absolutely. I honestly, you know, it's crazy. I honestly think that after this show comes out, people gonna be shook because this wasn't one of those roles where it's like I have to dance or I have to sing. No, what this role asked of me, MKXYZ, is to experience everything that you everything that you've lived through. Pull it out right now on the table and leave it there. And it's been in some ways it could be traumatizing. I see how a lot of actors get stuck in that heaviness because it's hard work. You know, like it's very different. Like now that I'm in it, it's very different from like the music world. Even though it's, you know, all entertainment industry, it's very different. It's very different. You know, you work as a team with your cast. You know, you that's your support system. Whereas when I get out on a stage, I lead the show and I end the show. You know what I mean? Like it starts and ends with me. Like it's a lot. And you don't have to, I don't necessarily have to cry or have to scream or have to yell or have to stay there and do it 20 times. You know, you might like, that's like equivalent to going on tour. You go on tour, you do the same thing, but you have to like to the intensity though, like emotionally, oh my gosh. It's just like, you're going to see me like, I feel like people are going to watch it and they're going to be like, man, I never seen MK like this before. This is really, I feel like they're going to be like, this is really interesting to see you go into these spaces. I never thought I would see that. You're right, because when I come to you, I usually give you MK, but I'm not giving you MK, I'm giving you Tess. Tess is the girl that I play in the show. Her name is Tess.
Okay.
So that's the character I step into. So you don't get me, you get her.
So when is the show set to air?
So we're still shooting actually. We're almost to the finish line for first season, but it's a lot. Like it's just a lot. Like
so they don't have you dance not one time as you play Tess. Because in my mind, I'm like, is she gonna give us a Leah Queen of the Damn type feel?
Not Queen of the Damn.
Aaliyah did that nice little snaky belly roll walk, and I'm like, yo, gosh, you can't duplicate that. Like, it was like if you give Tess one of those, I'm like, oh gosh. I'm out of
Hey,
here.
nah, I low key want to give it away, but I can't give it away, man. I can't. Like, it's really, really not like I didn't like this was really challenging. And I think that overall, just having the challenge and starting and finishing what I start, you know, and really dedicating myself to learning, you know, because even like learning lines is a thing, because with music, it's all on a rhythm, it's all on a frequency, you know, but there's also beats, like, you know, like learning that there's beats that you take and pauses that you create and you choose uh in the acting. Like it's
Mm,
so much. It's real work. It's real work.
that's dope. That's dope. As long as you're loving it, keep it going. Um,
Oh, I love it.
as
I
long
love
as
it.
you're loving it, keep it going. So what's some advice you have for artists that are inspired by you, artists that are on the rise? What's the best advice you would love to give them right now?
I say, and I never thought I'd say this so soon, because I feel like this is Bow Wow told me this, Jeremiah's told me this, Kaylani's told me this, but enjoy your moment and trust the process. Like, I didn't think I'd say it so soon. I thought I'd say it maybe later on. And oh yeah, social media is free. That part is hard, but that part, I say those two things. I say overall, like overarching, I think enjoy this journey. Like, it's your family's not always going to get it. Be patient with them. Your friends are not always going to get it, because you are of the extraordinaire. You know, when you get a chance to for people to your voice to the people in any way that you choose, it's never going to be, you know, when you're supposed to be that big, it's never a quick journey, and it's never a easy journey.
Mm,
It's one for you to remember, you know, it's one for you to really sit with. And that's what I'm doing, man. I'm just like enjoying everything, like this conversation, I'm enjoying it, because
me
like,
too.
why not? You know what I'm saying? Why not? We already spent so much time being, you know, going through all the things that we went through. Like, why not enjoy from here on out?
Right.
Like, that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah. So tell the world where they can find you on social media, all platforms. Tell them where they can find you. Tell them where they can listen to your music, download your music, add it to their playlist, etc.
Of course. Everybody, you can follow me and find me on all social platforms, at it's MKXYZ, ITSMKXYZ. You already know. And you can definitely stream Sweet Spot and listen to all my music and watch the video for one time on YouTube. But on all digital platforms and all streaming platforms, you can find me. But yeah, thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank
The
you.
energy is immaculate.
Thank
The
you.
energy is immaculate.
Thank you. Trust me, I enjoyed myself. I was there like, ooh, like, ooh. My heart is light and lovely today.
I love that. I love that for you. That's where you want to be. Cause
Yeah.
it's not easy all the time. So
So
enjoy those moments.
yes, I will. And I'm gonna see you soon, later,
Of course.
all that. Trust me, I'm gonna run into you and I'm gonna give you a big hug. Like, yo.
Yes. I'm a hugger. I'm a huge hugger.
Like, yo, it's here and it's happening now. Yes. So, Miss MK, thank you for your time. This will not be the last time. And
Of course.
continue the hard work, continue to stay focused, continue to harbor all that good energy and creativity that you're after. Shoot beyond the stars because you are one already.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Moon. I
Yes.
appreciate you.
Thank you. Nice driving. Get something to eat, rest, all that. I'm,
All that. You too.
all right, take care.
Y'all stay safe out here.
Yeah, I'll see you
Alrighty.
later.
All right. Bye bye.